The Ukrainian town of Pokrovsk finds itself at the heart of a conflict reshaping the very order of Europe. It is a strategic linchpin, a gateway to vital supply lines that sustain Ukrainian resistance. For Russia, capturing Pokrovsk represents a critical step towards achieving its larger territorial ambitions in the Donbas. For Ukraine, holding Pokrovsk means denying Russia this prize and buying precious time for its defenders. The fertile plains and rolling hills surrounding the town have become a battleground of outsized importance where the fate of nations hangs in the balance. The outcome of the fighting in this sector will likely determine the future course of the war. The town of Uspenivka, a few kilometers south of Pokrovsk, has emerged as a focal point for both sides. For Ukrainian forces, it represents a crucial forward position from which to observe and interdict Russian movements. For Russia, capturing Uspenivka would provide a bridgehead across the strategically important Solona River, opening up avenues for further advances towards Pokrovsk itself. The area around Uspenivka has become a cauldron of intense fighting, with both sides committing significant resources to securing their objectives. The stakes are high and neither side can afford to yield ground. The conflict in the Pokrovsk direction is not merely a local affair. It is a microcosm of the larger war, reflecting the strategic and tactical challenges faced by both sides. Russia's relentless drive to capture Ukrainian territory is met by the fierce determination of Ukrainian defenders fighting for their very survival. The outcome of this struggle will have profound implications, not only for Ukraine, but for the future security of Europe as a whole. Under the cover of darkness, Ukrainian forces have unleashed a series of audacious night raids against Russian positions near Uspenivka. These lightning-fast assaults, often conducted with the support of heavily armed and highly mobile infantry fighting vehicles like the BTR-4E Bucephalus, have inflicted heavy casualties on Russian forces and disrupted their efforts to advance. The BTR-4E, a testament to Ukrainian ingenuity and resilience, has proven to be a formidable weapon in this conflict. The element of surprise is crucial to the success of these night raids. Ukrainian forces, often operating in small, highly trained units, rely on stealth and speed to infiltrate Russian lines, sow chaos, and then melt back into the darkness before reinforcements can arrive. The psychological impact of these raids cannot be overstated. They have instilled a sense of vulnerability among Russian troops, who now find themselves under constant threat, even in the dead of night. The Ukrainian military has effectively exploited the cover of darkness to level the playing field against a numerically superior enemy. These night raids are not merely acts of desperation, but rather a calculated strategy designed to wear down Russian forces, disrupt their logistics, and ultimately break their will to fight. The success of these raids underscores the adaptability and resilience of the Ukrainian military in the face of overwhelming odds. Russia's strategic objectives in the Pokrovsk direction are clear: to break through Ukrainian defenses, seize control of vital supply lines, and advance towards the strategically important city of Dnipro. However, achieving these objectives has proven to be a far more daunting task than Russian military planners had anticipated. The Ukrainian military, bolstered by Western weapons and training, has mounted a fierce and effective defense, inflicting heavy casualties on Russian forces and slowing their advance to a crawl. One of the most significant challenges facing Russian forces is the lack of adequate logistics. The Russian military, hampered by corruption, inefficiency, and a reliance on outdated equipment, has struggled to keep its troops supplied with the food, fuel, ammunition, and medical supplies they need to sustain combat operations. This logistical nightmare has been exacerbated by the destruction of key bridges and rail lines by Ukrainian forces, forcing the Russians to rely on long and vulnerable road convoys to transport supplies. Furthermore, Russian forces have been plagued by low morale, poor leadership, and a lack of training. Many of the Russian soldiers sent to fight in Ukraine are conscripts with little or no combat experience, and they have been poorly equipped and led. The result has been a series of battlefield setbacks and heavy casualties, which have further eroded morale and undermined the effectiveness of the Russian military. The fighting around Pokrovsk is but one small part of a much larger conflict, a conflict that shows no signs of abating. While Ukrainian forces have fought bravely and inflicted heavy losses on the invaders, the Russian military, despite its setbacks, still possesses a significant advantage in terms of manpower, firepower, and resources. The road ahead will be long and arduous, fraught with danger and uncertainty. The outcome of this conflict will have profound implications not only for Ukraine but for the future of Europe and the international order. A Russian victory would deal a devastating blow to the rules-based international system and embolden authoritarian regimes around the world. It would also have dire consequences for the Ukrainian people, who would face a future of oppression and tyranny under Russian occupation. The international community must remain steadfast in its support for Ukraine, providing the country with the military, economic, and humanitarian assistance it needs to defend itself against Russian aggression. The future of democracy, freedom, and the rules-based international order hangs in the balance.